Now let's take an example about you're starting one of the project. For example, I'm going to start a project upon artificial intelligence. So what are the ingredients I would be requiring for my project? First is voice, the second is images, right, for making the video. So let me do one thing. Let me just import one of the voice. I'll go to downloads. In the downloads I have one of the like projects, so I can go into audio and I can just import the audio. All right, so the audio has been imported. Now I'll be requiring the images, so I'll go to the same place and let's see images. Okay, so these are some images I would be requiring, so let me just copy in here. All right, now all I need to do is I need to sync these images as per the audio, right? So at this point what you're going to do, basically you're going to listen the audio, then you're going to match with the images, right? That is like basically what we do. So there are like a couple of things what you can do, and this is the lesson about you are going to take in one of the advantage of this VityBoard, which is really going to help you. So let me show you what. So for example, let me play the audio.
Let's try to understand the difference between generative AI and agentic AI.
Okay, so this audio is basically playing and it has complete sentence in here. So in order to match sentence, what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the image, but every time I need to like listen to the audio, right? So that is going to be like a lengthy process for me. So one of the challenge creator face is basically matching the audio with the images. For example, it's not just a few images, you may have like 50 or 100 images, and you need to match with all the audio, as per their sequence wise or as per the storytelling is coming, right? So for example, in this example, let me play one of the like a few seconds of audio.
Let's try to understand the difference between generative AI and agentic AI.
Okay, so this is basically trying to explain about little bit about generative AI and the agentic AI, right? So my first slide is going to be something like the title. So I'm going to pick like one of the slide, for example, and that would be my title related to generative AI, for example, AI versus, for example, agentic AI, right? Okay, so this is just an example. Now the real challenge will start from the second slide because we need to match the images. So second slide might going to start from our this place. So let me play once again.
Generative AI and agentic AI. Generative AI is like a creative artist. You give it.
Okay, so it is telling us about something generative AI. So I have like some of the images, but if I'm going to do this, like going to listen all the audios, then I need to take the reference all the time. So one step what you can do is in here you can just use the marker. So here we have, if you can double click upon this space, it will enable the marker, and you can add the whatever the things what you want. For example, generative AI. Okay, that's the reference, and you can put in here. Now here you might reach and it will going to tell you about something else like agentic AI. All right, so this is something you can put in here. So that is the process you can follow. This is the one way, but another best way what the topic is today is about using the script. So here we have the option which is called audio script. All you have to do is you have to click upon this, and it is going to ask you about just put your script in here. So I have my script ready. So this is the exact script what is like mentioned in the audio. It's like basically like AI voice, right? So I can just copy in here and paste into this, and it is going to basically sync with our audio. So let's see. So this has basically sync, and it is almost, I say almost, which means like it's not like 100% perfect, but it is like 90 to 95%. So what happens basically in this scenario, it's sync with the sentence by sentence. So this is just one sentence, this is the another sentence. So first time you need to match the sentence, and you need to make sure this is like column is going to be matched. The reason I'm going to tell you because it will going to like blow your mind later. So let me just play the audio in here. For example, this sentence is going to finish in here, right? So I'm going to drag until here, And if you want to see whether the audio and the script is matching or not, you can click upon this magnifying glass. If I click on this, then it is going to tell you about what it is trying to tell. Okay, so this is this, and if I'm going to click upon this, okay, this is this. So you can just play the audio, or you can also play the audio from here. So what happened basically, if you have just one slide, right, or two slides, and your audio is going to come in here like until this part, and if you are going to play the audio once again just to understand, you know, what image is going to come without script, it is going to fall back to the last slide, right, if there is no slide in middle. So it would be really frustrating, you know, starting from this scratch and coming until this point just to understand what is going to play, right? And that is the reason you can take an advantage upon the the section by section. So for example, I want to understand which image is going to come until this section. You can just play upon like only this section. So
Creative
you can
artist.
see
You give it a prompt,
it is just
an
going to play
instruction,
this one.
and it makes
Now the beauty about this, first let's do some sync in here. So I'll tell you like why the sync is important. So for example, this is the sync up here. Now this is going to be sync maybe until here, because sentence by sentence, and let's see, it's going to be in here. Okay, you can just drag it, you know, it might take a little time, but after this sync, the object is going to tell us where the object is going to come. For example, if I just click upon this and it say you give it like prompt as an instruction, I make something new for you like text and picture. Okay, so I want to make something, you know, as a visual, text, picture or code. So this is my visual. So I'm going to click upon the picture, and it is going to tell you, okay, the position is going to be in here. So I'm going to pick in here. Okay, I'll say, okay, the picture word is going to come here. So my visual is going to be at this place. To confirm whether it's going to come at here, you can just play once again, and we can understand whether it's like here or a little bit there. So let's play.
You give it a prompt, an instruction, and it makes something new for you, like text, pictures, or code.
Got it, right? So it is
Agentic
kind of like
AI
almost
is
in
like
here,
an independent.
but visually you can just keep it like, you know, a little bit ahead or back. It's totally up to you how you want to manage. So that is how you can take advantage of the using audio script, and you can just understand the position. So what I can do is okay, my audio in here, I can just put one picture in here. This is going to start in here as per picture in here. So for example, I'm going to add like one more image in this one. I'm just picking up any, you know, random image, but once you start doing the animation, you will understand on which slide which are the images are going to come. So let me change the color to the white, and let's add one more image, and let me pick one more, all right, image here. And let me add one more image because we're going to understand one more the upgradation of this software. So let's say I have added all these, you know, images. Now the thing is, for example, this image is going to start up to here, right? This image is going to start in here, for example, agentic AI. But slide in here, let's going to start from 9 seconds, but it's supposed to start at maybe 12 seconds, right? So what you can do is for example, you can just make the adjustment as per the previous images. You can push it back, you know, into the animation by using the delay. For example, if I put in here, I can just push it down, something like that, you know, that's a delay. But there is one more shortcut we just added, which is using these balls. And what you can do, you can just drag and it is going to match the animation. So how it's going to work? So it represents the two things here. The first one is blue, related to the animation duration, and the red is belong to the delay duration. What I mean, for example, if I drag this blue in here, okay, until this point, it is going to tell you, okay, how much animation a second is going to play. So for example, let me apply one of the animation sketch, and let me add the favorite, which is the hand. Now let's see how much longer it's going to take to draw this animation, right? So you'll understand, okay?
Generative AI is like a creative artist. You give it a prompt,
so it is taking that much of time, and if you increase more, it's going to take more time. For example, if I like this,
generative AI is like a creative artist.
Basically going to
you give it a prompt, an instruction,
depend upon that, And if you want to make this animation shorter, you can just pull this back until here. Let's see what time is going to take now. It's very fast, right?
Generative
so
AI
that is blue
like
represent the animation. Now what about the red? Red is going to represent the delay. So let me just pull the red in here, for example here. So the next slide going to wait until this slide or image is finished. So for example, this is going to finish, right?
Generative
Now
AI
delay,
is like a creative artist.
Until it's going to
You
start
give it a prompt, an instruction,
animation.
and it makes something new for
Something
you,
like that.
like text.
So this is basically like blue represent the animation duration, red represent the delay duration. So you do not have to, you know, go again and again just to check upon these numbers, like how long it's going to start. You can just pick the position and you can just make the adjustment, and trust me, it's going to be very fast animation. So that is going to change completely, you know, animation, the way you are do the animation, by the way. Now I have finished creating this one of the very short video with the help of this audio script and the marker and the listening to the video, and of course the images, right? So let's have a look upon how this look like. So let me play this video in here.
Let's try to understand the difference between generative AI and agentic AI. Generative AI is like a creative artist. You give it a prompt, an instruction, and it makes something new for you, like text, pictures, or code. Agentic AI is like an independent assistant. You give it a goal, and it figures out how to reach that goal on its own. It makes a plan, makes its own decisions, and uses different tools to finish a long, multi-step job. So, simply put, generative AI generates text, images, music, and videos, while agentic AI does things for you, like developing a website using vibe coding.
Alright, so this is how I created very simple way, but you can put like you know, the text and the like props in here. For example, I want to highlight something, I can go into the props. This is the symbol which is very like widely used, I use basically. So I can just go in here, I can use this circle. If I want to highlight something, for example, it can generate like audio, video, something like that. I can highlight something, or I can do the arrows if you want to use the arrows. So you can like do like so many things based upon your creativity. So that is how you can create the video in here. Then after it's finished, you can just click upon the export. So I'm going to export basically 1080, and let me just start exporting. So I'm going to just pause the recording and I'll start once like it has been finished. Alright, so our recording is basically ready to download, and it took about like 2 to 3 minutes because I'm using the machine which has like one core and it doesn't have any GPU. That's why it took time. If you have GPU, of course, it's going to take very less time. Now let me download the video and let me save to this folder. I'm going to give the name which is generative AI versus agentic AI, anything you can give, right? And let me save. So this is not going to show you the process which is like downloading this, because it's already generated. It's just matter of saving the video. So let me go into the, you know, the path where we saved. I go to download and in generative in here. So this is our generated video. So now let's play and let's see how the result it look like. All right, so let me play.
Let's try to understand the difference between generative AI and agentic AI. Generative AI is like a creative artist. You give it a prompt, an instruction, and it makes something new for you, like text, pictures, or code. Agentic AI is like an independent assistant. You give it a goal, and it figures out how to reach that goal on its own. It makes a plan, makes its own decisions, and uses different tools to finish a long, multi-step job. So, simply put, generative AI generates text, images, music, and videos, while agentic AI does things for you, like developing a website using vibe coding.
Okay, so that was our like exported video. So that is how you can take an advantage of using the audio script using the marker, using the animation duration or delay duration, and you can make the animation the way you want. Alright, so this is for now, and I'll see you in the next one.